What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my video. I am Keylovesgod. I help uplift, encourage, and inspire others on how to be made in His image and on how to be the best versions of yourselves. If you're new to my channel, I'm so happy to have you here. Welcome. And for those of you who are already subscribed, welcome back. I am so happy to have you guys here. I'm going to be reacting to Trap Plug. He has a video up called Rappers Who Have Been Cloned. Kodak Black, Eminem, Gucci Mane, and more. We're going to check this out because we know there have been so many celebrities that have been cloned, okay? Some of you guys may think it's a little far-fetched, but those of you who got eyes to see and ears to hear, you guys already know what I'm talking about, okay? You know in the spirit and in your heart and in your mind. That is why it is so important that you don't go off listening to these different lyrics and these different rappers, making them your idols, idolizing these people because, you know, there's spells over this music and these people are not even who you really think they are. You don't even know what's operating inside of that person. You know what I mean? So you gotta keep your spirit clean and you gotta operate in the Holy Spirit. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and jump into this video and kind of check this out and see, is your favorite rapper cloned? And just because they're not in this video doesn't mean that they're not, okay? So let's go ahead and get into it.
7 famous rapper clones. With immense popularity comes multi-million-dollar mansions and cars, brand deals, and clone and look-alike replacement conspiracies? Apparently so. A clone is an individual who's identical to another, often depicted as being made in a lab. However, in some depictions, a clone can be a regular doppelganger posing as someone else. These conspiracies are among the most elaborate examples of what the human mind can come up with to explain things that otherwise wouldn't make sense, such as appearance changes, change in hand dominance, missing tattoos, birthmarks, and more. In today's video, we will cover 7 rappers who supposedly have clones or are androids. But first, for the start of the video, make sure to leave a like. If you want to join this month's giveaway on some of the free stuff on your screen, then all you have to do is subscribe to the channel. Watch the video till the end and then leave a comment with the keyword down below. Good luck, Eminem. Since the early years of his career, infamous Slim Shady has been subject to many rumors. But the one of him being an android is among the most far-fetched of them all. The conspiracy first arose in 2013, following his interview with BBC News. In the interview, Eminem told the audience to, quote, stay out on his head, and stared at them for an uncomfortable amount of time before continuing with the interview. Strange? We think so too. For a while, the rumors had died down. That was until 2019, when artist Tim McDonald released a song entitled Cloned Rappers, where he claimed that Eminem died in 2006 after a drug overdose. Eminem's manager worked with the Illuminati to turn Eminem's cadaver bone sample into a clone of him to continue banking coin off his legacy. Take a second to let that sink in. You know it's a lot. Even crazier? A plethora of Eminem's fans believe this conspiracy to be true. The conspiracy theory fanatics believe that this explains Eminem's drastic change in appearance, transitioning from a blonde-haired boy to a brown-haired man, beginning to show signs of aging. The more reasonable explanation for Eminem's changes is his long history of drug abuse, alongside his stressful and traumatic past, which can drastically change an individual's appearance over time.
Wow.
Alongside his physical changes, the content of Eminem's lyrics has also greatly evolved. It has gone from speaking of violence to his more recent songs, which tend to be more reflective of his experiences and aspirations in life. But as Slim Shady says himself, he is the rap god. So perhaps that is his confession that he isn't human after all. Kodak Black. It's well known that prison is capable of changing.
I just felt like Eminem looked different because his hair was dyed and like we known him as Slim Shady and he didn't want to be that character anymore, and so then he dyed his hair black or brown and then he started looking, maybe he just grew out his real hair color, you know what I mean? And you know, he was a little bit weird because he got a little bigger, but that's what happens when you get older. I'm not saying he is or he's not one. That's just my thesis behind it or theory. You guys comment down below if you think Eminem is a clone or not. And that was my first time hearing that they said that he passed away in 2006 over an overdose. And I just watched a reaction from Orlando Brown saying that Takeaway is really not Takeoff. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Did I just say Takeaway? You know what? I'm done talking. Nope. I'm not saying nothing else.
Changing a person. Whether for better or worse, that depends on the individual and how they choose to spend their time there. Kodak Black was in prison for 1 year back in 2018 for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, as well as possession of marijuana and a in 2019. Though his total charges were 8, he was facing up to 10 years in prison. He was able to make a plea bargain for just under 4 years. However, before the former United States President Donald Trump left office, he pardoned 143 people, Kodak being one of them. Kodak was seen for the first time since his release at a Tampa Super Bowl party. His appearance shocked many.
We know he's a clone.
Kodak lost at least 30 pounds and seems much happier than before, leading fans and conspiracy theorists to believe that Kodak Black was cloned by the government. Skeptics clapped back at the allegations. One Twitter user said, quote, "Why would the government clone Kodak Black? Of all people, we say that a change in appearance isn't quite enough to make us believe that he was cloned. Feel free to give up further proof in the comments below."
What y'all think?
Red. Following the lead of Kid Buu, who we will discuss later, Trippie Redd also came out as a clone in September of 2018. Specifically, Generation 3 model. In an Instagram live video with Kid Buu, Buu told Redd that when he broke out of the cloning facility, he saw Redd's name on a document. The conversation continued to speak about the different models and generations. In a later report, over 7,000 people commented, over half of them trying to find flaws in the two's story. However, to this day, the two continue the claim that they are clones. Gucci Mane.
See, and I wish this person elaborated more on these stories and show them before and after. But I definitely believe Trippie Redd is one as well, because he even came out and said it. He literally told you. And then Kodak Black came out and said it too, because he was like, "No, I'm a clone." He said it all nonchalant in a live, and I wish this person put that in the video as well to support this evidence. But he came out and said the real Kodak Black is in an island somewhere. He was like, "Nah, he's still alive. He's on an island." He was like, "I'm a clone," and he said that on live on Instagram. When these artists are literally coming out and telling you that they're clones, you have no right to try to argue back and be like, "No, they're not a clone. No, they're not a clone." They're telling you they are. They literally tell a lot of their facts in their music. That's their artistic expression. So you can't argue with them about what they are and what they are not. That's what they said.
Behind bars between 2013 and
We know Gucci Mane's a clone.
Roderick Delontic Davis, professionally known as Gucci Mane, underwent a full body and spiritual transformation. Davis was imprisoned for his third and final time for possession of a federal firearm. When Mane re-emerged as a seemingly happier and healthier version of himself, fans concluded that cloning could be the only reasonable explanation. Many aspects of Davis changed, including no longer flaunting guns in the content he posts online and wearing lighter, looser clothing. Mane even jokingly went along with these accusations for a brief period. An Instagram post, his caption read, quote, "Clone? What clone?" However, Mane would later admit in an interview that, quote, "just lets me know that a clone is like perfection. So if I look like a machine or a robot, evidently I'm doing something well." Despite Gucci Mane's confirmation that he is not a clone, many fans still believe that he is. The evidence that backs his fans' claims is that an ice cream cone tattoo that had been on Mane mysteriously...
Yeah, like, how can you explain that away? I understand, like, okay, say if he did work out and he was healthy and in jail and all that kind of stuff, and he worked out, he got his mind right and all that kind of stuff, like, where did his ice cream tattoo go, guys? He didn't have it removed. It wouldn't... Can you have a tattoo removed without removing any ink from the other tattoos, without them being affected in no way? Like, his face and stuff looks the same, except he's very bloated over here, very inflamed, dark yellow eyes from like liver damage from all that drinking and stuff like that. And then over here, he just white eyes. He looks a lot better. But where is the tattoo? He went in with a big pot belly and came out with a six-pack. Like,
appeared after his reappearance, and conspiracy theorists will not let it go.
And I'm not saying you can't go in prison one way and come out transformed. It happens all the time. Just where is, like, short and wide figures, narrow and longer triangle. So they're talking about, like, I guess the fans and conspiracy theorists are talking about the length of these and all this kind of stuff and the tattoos. But he was heavier here, so like your neck could possibly get stretched out. Versus over here, if you lose weight and you're working out more, like I would assume that your tattoo would shrink as well. So if you get bigger, your tattoo is going to get bigger. If you shrink, your tattoo is going to kind of do the same thing with the skin. So I don't really know.
Media has yet to receive a response as to what happened to the tattoo, leading many to be firm in their stance that the Gucci Mane that we see now is indeed a clone. 21 Savage. Back in February of 2019, 21 Savage, whose legal name is Shea bin Abraham Joseph, spent a week in an ICE detention center after overstaying his visa. ICE is an agency that helps to protect the United States from across-the-border crime and illegal immigration, but has been often ridiculed for the subpar conditions they put the individuals in. This came as quite a shock to 21 Savage's fans, who accused him of putting up a facade. Though 21 Savage was born in London, England, he moved to Atlanta, Georgia, with his mother and 10 siblings when he was 7 years old.
Dang.
Savage re-emerged into the public eye following his arrest. Fans compared photographs of him before and after, finding minor differences, and concluded that 21 Savage had not been in ICE custody, but had instead been abducted by the U.S. government and been replaced with a clone, Kid Buu. Typically, it's the fans who begin the
Okay,
clone
where's
game.
the before and after picture? We can't even decide, you know what I'm saying? What I will say is that a lot of these artists and stuff like that, when they do go missing, hence Kanye, other people like that, when they go missing for a period of time, they are in these little facilities because they're getting, I don't know what exactly they're getting, because I don't know Hollywood entertainment like that, so I can't speak fully on it, but I do know that when they leave and they go disappearing for a while, they eventually come back totally different. Sometimes they get pulled out for speaking too much, for speaking things that are not factual, maybe for speaking things that are factual that they're not supposed to talk about at all. Either way, it's just odd.
In an android room, but with Kid Buu, he not only edged on the fans, but supplied the theorists with an entire story of how it happened. According to Buu, he had a UFO experience that led to him joining the Raelian movement. The Raelian movement is a group of individuals who believe that life on Earth originates from alien life forms. Kid Buu has spoken about it in multiple interviews, revealing his model number and company, even brought out the clone on an Instagram live video. The being was identical to Buu, including the hair, tattoos, facial structure, and more. According to Buu, the clone cost him $2 million. In a Vlad TV interview, Buu stated that his first-generation model was born in New Jersey, while his second-generation model was born in Canada. Critics point out that Kid Buu does have a fraternal twin, but even then, the resemblance is striking. Out of all the clone and android conspiracies, if any of them truly has one, we'd have to say that it's Buu, sui generis.
I've never even heard of this dude before. I've never seen him or anything, but the fact that he said it cost him $2 million, and he's talking about how they have different generations, kind of like their phones and stuff, is beyond me. And the fact that like this is literally like something that can definitely happen is like, what? Like,
Buu's footsteps. Sui Generis, a SoundCloud rapper from the San Jose, California area, also hosted an Instagram live video, which his alleged clone appeared. Many aspects of the video were quite similar to Kid Buu's, from sitting on the couch to the clone walking in. Sui Generis' stunt was most likely a replica of Kid Buu as a joke or a hit at him. Very few fans believe this one to be true. This is ironic, considering that Sui Generis' name comes from the Latin phrase sui generis, which means unique, with Sui Generis' net worth being equal to a measly $100,000 compared to other rappers who are making millions. The chance of Sui Generis being an actual clone? Unlikely. Hey, you. Yeah, you. You like this video?
Well, that's very interesting. So many different artists these days, I don't even know who they are or their names or anything. I'm just like, it's hard to keep up with. Like, we can say that this stuff does happen in Hollywood, and we may not have all the answers. We don't know exactly how these things happen. If you do know exactly how these things happen, or you know you have a very close source to somebody who's in the entertainment industry and you have factual information, you can comment that down below and make sure you tag me in it, or you can also email me about real life experiences that you know someone has experienced. That would be very interesting to kind of unpack. But As for me, I know this stuff does exist. This stuff is real. There's so many other artists who are cloned who he did not bring up in this video. And there was a little bit more that I wanted him to add to these videos to show actual proof, because people are very much easy to say, no, that can't happen, or that's not factual, like when actually this stuff does occur. So I wish there was a little bit more to support it and back it up, but because I've seen this stuff on the back end on my own, I can literally say that like a lot of these that he brought up in here are for sure clones. I don't know if you guys would agree or not. Comment your thoughts and opinions down below respectfully. Make sure you're respectful of everyone else's comments. I don't want to have to block anybody. You know, this is a community. This is something good to talk about and to learn. But I want you guys to go ahead and smash that like button, and also head over to Trap Plug. Make sure you guys like his video and other future videos. I love you guys so much. Make sure that you also subscribe so you can be notified when I do post another video. And I will see you guys in the next one. Mwah.